A new exit poll shows that Donald Trump won 46% of the Latino vote, beating out both Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush and winning the largest share of the national Latino vote for a Republican in modern times. So here to discuss is Karina Yapor. She's the executive producer for Voz Media and actually right here in our building. So we had to talk to you because this is such a tremendous accomplishment from Donald Trump. So how was he able to garner such support?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. I think I'm glad to be here. And you know what? To me, it's more simple than we have heard in the mainstream media. They are saying crazy stuff out there. I was listening to The View host saying that Latino voters didn't vote for Kamala Harris because we are racist,
right,
and Latino males are misogynist, which I believe is very, very it's very racist for her to say that about us. It's more simple than that. We care about economy first. I think that's one of the reasons and the main reasons Latinos voted for Donald Trump. But besides that, we have very conservative values. And Latinos are waking up and realizing that the Democratic Party don't longer represent their values, their faith. And I believe that's part of the movement that we have seen in the recent years. They are realizing the woke agenda. They are realizing that they don't want their children to be indoctrinated at school. They don't want their children to be transitioned at school. And they are waking up and they are making their voices heard through their vote, for sure.
So let's go right to get this off the table right away, because I'm still surprised we have to talk about it. After everything that's happened, it still confuses most of the media. How can this be? The first thing they say is immigration. How is this possible?
Yes.
Trump is saying mass deportations, and what a terrible phrase. And you just see them still wrestling with this. How is this possible? How do you answer that question?
Well, and I have some numbers for you guys, very interesting numbers, because actually the border counties in Texas, 50% of Hispanics voted for Donald Trump. So what does that tell you? That tells you that Hispanics are being impacted as well by illegal immigration. The fact that we are Hispanics doesn't mean that we support illegal immigration. Of course, I am an immigrant myself. I support immigration. I think it's a good thing when you have control of it. It's just like letting someone into your house. You don't let you don't let the door open for anyone. You want to know who's coming and all of that. So most Hispanics are in favor of immigration, but legal immigration. Most Hispanics have followed a legal process that have taken us several years, fees, attorneys, and all. It's kind of complicated, to be honest with you. I do believe that we need to make it better for good people, but definitely the crisis that we have seen in these last 4 years is insane and is making our neighborhoods more unsafe, especially for minorities. Like really, when they say, oh no, minorities are in favor of illegal immigration and all of that, that's not true, because minorities are being impacted by this crisis, for sure.
I want to go back to some of the numbers because it is a difference that we saw between the men and the women voting. It was 55% of the Latino men to 38% in favor for Latino women. Why do you think that we saw that dynamic?
Unfortunately, even though when we are very conservative, unfortunately, I guess within Latino women still having the idea first of having a female president for the first time, a woman in the White House resonates a lot, because we want equal opportunities for women and all of that. And secondly, I will say some kind of abortion. We are, of course, we are not in favor of abortion on third trimester or anything like that. But I believe that some women bought the rhetoric that is a women's right, and if the life of the mother is in danger, they could, they will not be allowed to have an abortion and all of that. So I believe that's the reason why more women supported Kamala Harris and than men. But honestly, we're still very, very conservative. But if you ask me, I think those two topics had a, weight on them.
So, Karina, Kamala Harris, she tied for the worst performance ever when it comes to Latino vote. Why do you think that is?
Well, I want to clarify that because it made me laugh when I was listening to all these crazy theories about us being, misogynist for males and then us racist and all of that. No, I believe we didn't vote for her because Latinos didn't believe that she was competent enough to be the president of the United States, first of all. Second of all, she hasn't been able to handle the border crisis, and we saw that. And third, a lot of Latinos have came for countries where they have experienced socialism, and they are seeing those red flags on her in the Biden-Harris administration. So that's the reason why they didn't vote specifically for her. It's not because and I've heard this in general, like America wasn't ready to have a female president and all of that. I think we are, if we have the right candidate, and clearly she was not.
We've seen a coalition of people who normally wouldn't support a Republican come together on this election. Do you think that this is going to be part of the future of the Latino movement, is moving more to the Republican side?
I think so. And I have to tell you that that's why we are here. We created Voz Media 2 years ago. I used to work for Telemundo almost 8 years and Univision almost 8 years as well. We didn't have a conservative platform, news platform in Spanish for Spanish speakers. And it's very, very important that we provide non-biased information for Hispanics in Spanish, because a lot of people still consume a lot of news in Spanish language. It's the second most spoken language in the United States and in the world. But I think one of the 3 in the world. So that's why we're here. Definitely, I think and I see that a lot of more Hispanics will move towards the Republican Party. It's just that they need to receive the actual facts, and that's why we're here for.
We can't emphasize enough how important it is, and for people watching out there, you need to realize they're in the same building. Like we all work
Yes.
near each other, but
We're
to work near
neighbors.
it's unbelievable because just like in any portion of the media, there's so many wealthy people who tend left who want to propagandize, and the Spanish language is no different. So what you're doing is amazing. It's the Lord's work. I'm curious about.
And if may I add something, I'm so proud because we saw Kamala Harris bringing all the pop stars in the Hispanic world as well. We saw J-Lo, we saw Bad Bunny, who is like a huge thing. And I was afraid, that could really, really make people vote for her. I'm so proud of the Latinos for not falling to that. They realized that these stars, you can like their music, you can like their movies, but that doesn't mean that you're going to vote based on what they tell you, because they really don't have the same struggles that regular people have.
No, people are waking up. Everyone's waking up.
Yes.
I have a question though, particularly on the religious angle. It was interesting to me. I saw this morning 7% +7 for Trump Catholic Latinos, and this happened to everyone. So Catholics went, I think, +10. Do you have any thoughts about that? Like what happened there?
No, absolutely. And not only Catholics, but evangelicals. So we Latinos are either Catholics or evangelicals. There's no other religion. And we really are very, very, we believe in God. We love God. I can tell you faith is something that drives our decisions, or day-to-day life, and our love for our families as well. So definitely that resonates a lot within the Hispanic community. I was covering Latinos for Trump in El Doral 2 weeks ago, and people were just amazed by looking at Donald Trump and all these leaders praying over him. That's very, very, it moved Latinos because of that, and because he respects religion, and because he says Merry Christmas at the White House, and we don't want to change America. I believe us Hispanics can be the answer to wokeism in America because of our values and our faith. So nobody can mess with our faith because we react. And I think that's part of what we just saw this past election.
I love it.
Definitely.
Karina, thanks so much for coming in. And we love having you here in the building
Thank you
with
so
us.
much. Thanks so much for having me, guys.